rye kind of thing with like cardamom and maybe some cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
You could have so much fun with that. Yeah. It's one of my favorite honeys. I just, but I had to ask because I knew that they grew it in Washington and Oregon, and that's the only place they grew it that I'm aware of. So.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous honey. I just really enjoy it. So like ethereal meads. Some of the things he's done with it have just, they've bent my brain about flavors. His raspberry meadow foam is, I think it's like Happy Troll, I think is what he calls it. I taste it, it's like kind of like cotton candy, only not, and
only
it's
not.
just tasting it
the way it should
and
taste,
sitting with it was incredible. But then Hunter's Moon, when we were up there, Greg was working, and he had some chocolate and vanilla into one, and he's like, I'm gonna have some graham crackers with this next. I'm like, dude, that's gonna be insanely tasty. There's 0% chance that's not gonna come out amazing. So I love the honey, but yeah, I haven't worked with it really. Honestly, we've got so many really, really interesting honeys here in the area that just beg to be worked with that I haven't gotten to yet, that I just haven't necessarily expanded my sandbox that far yet.
Yeah.
Because when you look, we've got a guy up here on Green Bluff that produces a pine honeydew, so like a pine forest honey, later in the season. And I have no idea what exactly I'm going to do with it, but I want to work with it.
Oh.
And so it may end up just being a straight traditional mead with that pine flow, because it just tastes like Ponderosa pine. It's got like that vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, piney, mineral, resinous type of flavor profile. It's incredible.
Well,
and
there was a meadery in Western Virginia, and he's no longer open, sadly, because he made amazing meads. He used to do a honeydew, like actual, or not honeydew, honeysuckle in the spring. But one of the things he did during the summer was he did a spruce tip mead that was to die for. It was resinous, and it had a little sweetness to back it up, and there was all that. It was like walking through a pine forest. It was so amazing, clean and crisp, and it was those spruce tips. Man, I'm telling you, spruce tips.
Yeah. No, we do a Douglas fir resin mead, so a Retsina with Douglas fir resin here. And that's just based on our, we did larch, we did pine, we did fir, and we like the fir the best out of them for those reasons. Just delicate and nuanced, and the depth but lightness of the flavor profile, and there's that walking through a forest type feeling about it, are just incredible. It's, we're such tree people, and so for us, those flavor profiles are something that draws us in pretty strongly. I'm surprised I don't make more melomels, honestly, because I just love trees so much that all of those fit into it. But, we're not even close to done focusing on plants yet, herbs yet. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of variation there. So
there is. Well, honestly, the industry as a whole, I feel like just it could use more of the Metheglins that it has, even though it's a pretty well represented category and competition and stuff. I think that we have a long way to go to really fully explore the herbs, and we have a long way to go to really fully understand how they work with our local honeys. And there's been so much work done on the melomels. There's just so much on the fruit side that I've seen from every meadery pretty much. They all have pretty fruit-heavy releases from what I've seen pretty much. And so I was like, okay, let's keep exploring, keep working with this, and keep pushing this direction, and hopefully some people get inspired by it, and hopefully some people want to destroy us at it in competition. I really hope people do, because I want that category to continue to develop for people to taste and interact with.
I heard you mention Retsina. Were you emulating the Greek style wine Retsina, or?
We started out to do that. Yeah. So my wife, her maiden name was Skandalis. So yeah, her family comes from the northern chain in Greece, so the pine forested islands of Greece, basically, in the Sporades chain. And so the name flows from that. Hierophant Meadery flows from that. And a lot of our sensibilities. I mean, the lemon balm, our label has the melissae on it. So the honey bringers from Knossos, Crete, the original civilization in Europe. And so all those historical traditions, our Retsina has a frieze of Greek mythology on it, things like that. So we play off of her genetic heritage a lot, and we decided we wanted to make a resonated wine. And so we played with Ponderosa pine because we have a ton of it, and you can get a lot of resin off of it. We really were hopeful that that would be the one we chose because it's easy to get commercial quantities of pine resin off of the trees in this area. But of course, the one you have to pick a small pearl-sized bit of resin off of to the tune of, I think this year we'll use like 15 cups picked a small pearl at a time. It was the one that we loved. But that's all it is. We sit the resin on the wine for about a month, actually. It really has to take, it has to have time. And so, that's kind of where we ended up, was the faux resin being the one that we preferred. And like I said, I kind of wish we didn't, but the things we do for love.
Right. For mead. For the love of mead.
Oh, yeah.
Does your process include things like filtration or stabilization?
Yes, both. Yeah. So we go down, nominal sanitary, so 0.4, 0.6 micron level of filtration through a plate filter. And we have been using bentonite to kind of try and stabilize out the enzymes because we did see a little bit of enzyme throw. It wasn't as intense as what I recall Mike Fall reporting on the AMMA Facebook page at one point. It's like a good inch of sediment at the bottom of some of these bottles. We saw, about maybe a half inch in the neck of enzymes falling out, so we've started to use some bentonite and just ascertain whether or not I like doing it. Basically, I'm still on the fence about that portion of it. But, we do filter, we do use sulfites and sorbates, and then sweeten back just a little bit. So, for us, that allows us to have that really tight control over sugar levels, and we can modify them very slightly depending on the honey to make sure that it presents with the balance of sweetness that we're looking for.
What about carbonation?
So right now, essentially what gets lost during filtration goes into a keg and we carbonate it and we taste it and play with it. And then certain ones, like the Cacao Damiana, for instance, is going to be a sparkling mead, period. I really enjoy the way that it volatilizes the chocolate, volatilizes those very incensey peppery notes out of the Damiana. So that was going to be a carbonated bottle, but generally we've just dispensed our session meads as a carbonated mead into a small growler or a pasteurized bottle.
So
and that's kind of been where the carbonation focuses.
You're doing a Cacao Damiana, so two different things that stimulate the pleasure centers of the brain. That's got to be a fun mead.
Oh, it's terrible, yeah. And then you deliver it very quickly with the CO2, right? You just really pound it right in there. The anandamine and everything else, you're just like, No, it's been kind of sitting in the keg for about 6 months now. We've just kind of, we put it on and we taste it out here and we kind of get feedback and then we take it back off again and we put it back on about a month later and we get feedback, and now it's 6 months, finally people are buying glasses of it and stuff on the patio here. And so could just be that it's fall now in the inland Northwest and people like that warming effect that it has, potentially. But yeah, it's again, we blend. Obviously we're with the FDA officially. We do not believe that our chamomile mead has sedative effects. We don't believe that the lemon balm has sedative effects or the hop or anything else. We don't believe they have medicinal effects, officially.
No. Doesn't keep me from
but
drinking
at the
tea
same
made of
time,
those things, though, to help me sleep,
I don't know. Well, we have people trade us for the chamomile mead, barter with us for the chamomile mead for that purpose. But officially, it's not a dose that I would look at as an herbalist, taking of chamomile, for instance, unless you're drinking the bottle, which I also don't recommend.
Because it's painful
for obvious reasons.
Well, that's going to put you
a
on
little rough.
anything.
Yeah, you might sleep, but the next day you're going to be going, what was I thinking?
So one beauty of the off-dry style, like that lower sugar content, it's kinder, is what I've found, comparatively. Because we've had some of the sweeter meads where, I think my wife and I split a split bottle from Stung Meadery in New Zealand. It's officially the most expensive mead I've ever had. It was $180 to get it here. So that little split just in shipping, right? Yeah. So we traded in bottles, and it was a $180 bottle. So we had it on New Year's several years back, and woke up the next day just like, oh my God, what did I do? And it was, a wild fermented, 14% sweet traditional mead. What it really comes down to, though, is Paul's mead. I would gladly do that again multiple days in a row because it's so amazing.
So have you had
the flavor was so different.
Bartholomew's does a mead liqueur, and they're in Australia, and I've got 2 bottles of it that I hoard, and I drink tiny little sips of it because they're like 500 milliliter bottles. So it's like tiny little glasses, and I hand them out. They're like those little bitty Japanese sake glasses, like that. And
I glass, right? You're like,
it's so good.
You're doing it wrong, because every time I've had a New Year's Eve party here and people have drunk mead, it's hurt the same night, not in the morning.
Hey, how much are you drinking, man?
Are you saying we're slacking over here?
Yeah, probably.
I've had many a wife upset at me due to the upholstery in the car. But
Couldn't make the window roll down, huh?
No, turn the child lock off. I need the window down.
No, right now. No, not 5 minutes from now. Stop the car.
I kind of remember I had one of my exes, her 21 run, we put her in the back seat of a Beetle, which is a dearly stupid mistake.
You got no maneuvering room there. You cannot get out of the back of one of those things, and there's no windows to roll down back there, is there?
No, 4 in the morning I was still cleaning the inside of that silly thing. I was just like, oh, God.
Hey, at least
why did I do that?
At least it wasn't here where it's stupidly hot all the time, so you do that, and then the smell never comes out of the upholstery because it's so hot it breaks right in. If you don't heat it up like 5 minutes before it happens, forget it, you're dead.
Thank God for the Northern Temperate Zone.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I'm thanking God for the Northern Temperate Zone because I'm going to reverse Snowbird once we get everything outfitted with the new RV, and we're gonna. I told my husband, I said, I don't want to go towards the hot. I want to go away from it. Wherever it's not hot, that's where I want to go.
Spend your summers in Alaska.
Yeah, we'll spend my summers in Alaska or the Yukon or something, and my winters down in the mid-south.
Yellowstone, you're like, I'd like it to snow randomly. I'm going to spend the summer in Yellowstone. I just want it to snow randomly.
Randomly, yeah. It's like July. What is this? Yeah, I know. So, but yeah, this is really neat, and we got commentary going on because we're all on Skype. So we've got back end commentary, and we're getting a lot of everybody else is going, wow, this is really cool. So,
good.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
You've mentioned a few different things like yarrow root and hawthorn and berries and all those other things. What do you always ferment on the herb, or do you add it afterwards? Or you mentioned the water, the essential oil water. I can't remember the word you used for it now.
Hydrosol. Yeah, the hydrosol.
Yeah,
I haven't done that yet. So. That's an idea.
One strange thing. Are there any other? What other techniques do you use to get the herb flavor in?
So most normally, the vast majority of what we do is going to happen after stabilization, basically. So we're going to hit the end of the process. We're going to let that thing chill, sulfite sorbate it, rack it down until it's somewhat, get that first racking done. And then we're going to sit the herbs on it, normally. And the time frame for that is anywhere as short as 3 days all the way out to 2.5 months. Just depending on what we're looking for,